So what's up? What's up? Welcome to the New Black Church, where you know your story is your Bible. Man, or another amazing Sunday we have ahead of us. Y'all, we're talking about self care in relationships. But y'all know how I do it. Go ahead and play my theme music for me. Let's go! That's right. Welcome back. Welcome back to the New Black Church where your story is your Bible in the building. We got Jessica, lovely Lashes Thomas. Y'all, we are in store for a treat today. We get a chance to talk about relationships. There is no better person to talk about relationships than with girl Jay. Once again, y'all, I'm giving a shout out to that Facebook group, My Black Tampa, because if it wasn't for all of the amazing people, haven't y'all noticed how amazing everyone is that's in that group? Y'all, check out Jay. She's on IG. Check out her studio. Check out her projects. Y'all, but I know y'all don't like listening to me. Y'all know this show is all about Jay because it's her story, and we're gonna jump into her Bible. So Jay, tell us a little bit about you this evening.
So thank you for having me, first of all. So, I'm Jess. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma, which is crazy. I'm an entrepreneur. All of those great things. Like, that's just what I do.
That's just what you do, y'all. Did y'all hear her say she's a grandma?
I'm a grandma.
She looked like she about 35, so she's that young grandmama, y'all.
I'm the new big mom.
You the new big ma. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about.
Yes.
Represent what the new big ma looks like. Now, we gonna jump right on up into this. So you're a big ma. That just touches my heart that you're a new big ma. So you're a big ma. You're a wife. You're a mother. You're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You're a mentor. You're all of these amazing things. So you have all these different kind of relationships with all these different kind of people. In self care, what are some of your practices for yourself to prepare yourself for all these different type of relationships?
So the very first thing I do every single day is I affirm myself. I wake up every single morning with a positive affirmation. Like
Mm.
every morning, no matter what it is, if it's you gonna kill it today, we gonna make $1 million, whatever it is, that's what I do. So the first thing I do every morning is I affirm myself.
Okay, so affirming yourself. I didn't mean to take that deep breath like that, but let me tell you, it is so beautiful to hear somebody else say. Explain to everyone what that does for you when you affirm yourself, when you set the stage for your day for you.
Well, you set your intentions. Like I feel like your mood doesn't determine how your day should go. Like you are in control of that. You can wake up and you could just not be feeling your best. Like you don't feel like doing it, but if you set the intention and say I'm going to have a good day, I'm going to be successful, it's going to work out, then you have no other choice but to make those things happen. So,
Okay, so I like that. I like the intention though, because that's this word that I see on Facebook and TikTok. Be intentional. Be intentional. Okay, so she just sat there and told y'all how to be intentional with your self
mhm,
affirmation. So you got your self affirmation going. You
right.
have your intentions going in the morning. The question is, when did this start? Because something had to bring it on to
Ooh.
get you to that point to where you have to be intentional in the morning like that.
Now you got me thinking. Ooh, okay. So when did it start? I don't. I would say probably like 6 years ago.
Okay.
Somebody told me to write down your. No, it was longer than that. It had to be maybe. like 11 years ago. Yeah, I was in beauty school whenever this started happening. Somebody told me you need to write down whatever your plan is and it will pass. And I'm like, write it down. Like, I don't even whatever. But I said I'm just going to do it cuz there was nothing else that I could do, right? Like
Right.
you can only go up instead of going down. So I was like, all right, I started writing down my intentions for today. Just to talk about it, when I was in beauty school, I was working overnight from 6 a.m. or from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and then going to beauty school at 8:30 in the morning, and then getting off from beauty school, taking a quick nap, and doing that over and over until I got finished with school. That was like a year and a half until I got fired. Shout out to Mr. Joe for firing me. That was the best thing you ever did. But that was my life. So I was a mom. I had 2 kids, and I'm struggling trying to pay bills. So that was like my situation at the time. But she came to me and she poured into me. She said, "Write it down." So at that very moment, I started writing it down, and I just started telling myself, "You're going to have a good day. It's going to work out." And I started writing down my intentions. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to have a lash business. And lashes was not popping like they are back then, but I wrote all of those things down. So that's how it started.
That's beautiful. So, started 10, 11 years ago. Look at where you are today. You're doing all these amazing things that we're going to get a chance to talk about here in a little bit. But staying right here where we are, okay, so all that took place. You have your intention kicking off your day in your relationships, right? You already built your relationship with yourself. So you already set the bar high, 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 and higher every day that you be intentional with yourself. How is it working with others in relationships now when you know how amazing you are?
So in my other relationships, I try because I am a giver. I pour into people every day, all day. From if I'm behind the chair, if I'm working with students, like I'm always giving of myself. So I make sure I don't take all of their stuff with me, if that makes sense. Like, because they pour, they're going to dump on me. Like if they're having a bad day, you're talking to your lash artist. Oh, I got fired, or my boss get on my nerves. My husband cheating on me. I make sure I leave that where it's at. Like I don't take their mess with me, if that makes sense. So I let you give it to me. I'm going to take what you give me, but I'm going to leave it right there. It's not coming with me because I don't need to empty out my cup from taking all of your stuff with me.
I like that. I like that. What I have is a sliding door at the bottom of my trash can. So when everybody dump on me, I take it in, then I pull that little slide out the bottom of it, let all of it go out, close it back up. Now I'm clean again. And now I'm fresh for the next conversation or the next thing that I'm doing. So rolling through the self-care practices. So you did the self-affirmations in the morning. And then what are some additional ways where we can prioritize ourselves in our own well-being in that relationship with ourselves? Because that's one of our relationships, right? So what are some additional ways that we can prioritize ourselves outside of self-affirmation?
You have to find your thing, your stress reliever. So
Okay.
I found my stress relief in working out. So
Okay.
I don't like to call myself a fitness nut or a fitness guru because if I want a piece of chicken, I'm gonna eat a piece of chicken. Like that's just what it is. But as far as working out, I prioritize working out, meditation, whether it's yoga. Y'all be seeing me on my Peloton. Y'all know how I get down.
I've been trying to get to this Peloton. I'm like, okay, I'm about to keep asking questions till she bring this Peloton up. Y'all don't understand this woman on this bike.
So, but yeah, like it's just finding that time. Like that's my me time to like decompress. Like I could be stressed out about something. I've had crying sessions on my Peloton. Like when I lost my grandmother, I remember riding one day and tears just started falling down my face. But I was able to leave that on the bike and just keep going. So you got to find your stress reliever, whatever that may be.
So you finally got it out there. Y'all heard on this bike. Y'all got to check her out on TikTok. Y'all got to check her out on Facebook. Check her out on IG. Y'all, she is such a motivator when she is on this bike. Y'all, I went to the website and I was ready to put my credit card in to get this bike. And I'm like, D, you ain't going to ride that bike. You are not going to ride that bike. Excuse me. It's just the way that your energy is on that bike and you're taking care of yourself. See, y'all say, Duran, you talk too much. You're always talking about self this, self-care this, self-relationship, self-love, self-respect. It's nice when someone else can come in and have that same conversation with everybody because, y'all, she a grandmama. She looked like somebody's sister. Like, Don't look like nobody, grandmama. So this is what self-care and building that relationship with you. Now, on this platform, you say nothing wrong. Everything is right. So I got a question for you, and it's a loaded question too.
Okay.
Okay. Who is your first relationship with every day?
Myself.
Y'all heard it.
Myself.
Y'all heard it. She put herself first. What does it feel like putting yourself first?
You know, when you first start, right, people are going to say, oh, you're being selfish or you're not being giving to others. But if I don't give to myself, I have nothing left to give to anybody else. So it's always me first and then everybody after that.
I love that so much. I love it when a woman says it because women are taught so much to put your kids first and do this first and do all this other stuff. But you said it is best when it comes from a woman's mouth to another woman that you're no good to everybody when you're empty.
Right.
So put yourself first and your joy, your happiness, and that key thing you just said, you're a giver. I have not met a woman yet that's not a giver. You all are always giving and having such that giving heart. Why not give to yourself first? So y'all, we finna give y'all this quick break, and we gonna come right back, and we gonna jump right back into self-care and his relationships. Now that she has taken care of herself, she finna set these boundaries real quick, and she gonna talk about what they are. We'll see y'all in a couple seconds.
Yes.
Welcome back to the New Black Church. Like I said, in that building, we got Jessica Lovely Lashes, straight representing. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming through and sharing your story with us because let me tell you, you are jumping into your Bible. These chapters are awesome. I'm ready to jump into another book. This book is called Boundaries in Relationships.
Yes.
How is it like setting boundaries and still having effective communication?
It's refreshing. It's refreshing.
I like that.
It's stress free.
Mm.
So yeah, those are the top two. It's refreshing and stress free.
Okay, so let's jump into refreshing first before we get into stress. Stress free is just so beautiful, but refreshing is just so. When you say refreshing, I just felt like you just finished a Peloton workout and left everything
Leave it on
right
the
there. Is that what that refresh? What is that refreshing like?
That's what it feels like. I mean, because first of all, nobody wants a boundary, right? Like everybody wants to have total access to you all the time. Like they just feel like they should be able to reach out and touch you. But when you start to say no, I'm not available, or just simply just no, period, with no explanation. Like if somebody asks me to do something I don't want to do, the answer is no. I used to be no, well because no. Now it's just no, period. Like that's it. That's the end of it. So I don't feel like I owe anybody anything else. Like I don't owe you anything. You don't owe me anything. Like just take my no and we're gonna rock with it. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm still good though, and I'm not worried about how you're feeling. So
I love. This is just so refreshing to have this conversation with someone who really lives in self-care. Like you look so relaxed, so refreshed, just so where you want to be in life. How much of a role did no played in getting you right here?
oh, no played a big role because I would find myself saying yes to things that I didn't want to do, and then it would it would drain me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to be here. I don't want to do this. So then I would just feel like I was giving too much of myself. And then once that person gets what they want from you, whether it's come to my event or can you watch my kids, can I borrow $20? Once they, for example, you get somebody $20 and they say I'm gonna pay you back on Friday. Friday come or you ask them for it, then it becomes a funky $20. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
was my $20 funky when I gave it to you? So I just used to feel myself like constantly depleting and taking away my resources to help others. So now I'm like, no, I ain't got it. We good. But it also comes with not caring what other people think about you. And that's the big one. Like, you have to literally not care. And when I say I don't care what nobody think about me, like, I literally don't care at all.
Everybody saw the look on your face that says, I don't care.
Don't care.
But I love it. Putting yourself first, that's the first relationship. So now you out of that first relationship and now you tell some people no. But there is somebody that you don't say no to as much as you tell everybody else no to. They may get a couple more yeses. Um, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. But we're gonna get into is so now that we got no, now we have a direction. What are some of your strategies in helping other people lead more positive conversations in that way?
So, and it depends on, at what we're talking about, right? So I can relate it to, oftentimes people come to me about helping them like set up their businesses
Okay.
or like establish their businesses the correct way. I don't really promote that I do it, but I do because I've ran several businesses and I've set them all up. So the first thing I do, I'm like, what is it that you really want to do? Like, let's put all of your stuff on the table. Like, what is it you really want to do? What is your end goal? How much money do you want to make? So in other areas of life, you can just I relay that as, let's put all your bullshit on the table. Like, what do you have going on? What are we doing here? So that's what we do. Like, we let it all out. What are we doing?
Okay. So you let it all out. They put everything on there, the word that you use. I
Demand.
love it. I love it. I love it though. I love it though. So now that they've done that, right? Let's just go with this scenario right here.
Okay.
Now that they put everything out there, they want to do their business, right? And you see what they put out there. In setting your boundaries, how do you practice no with the empathy in it? Now that you see what they put out there.
So how I tell you no and be empathetic about it?
Well,
Because I was about to tell you how I say it, but
well, I mean, more so like, okay, they have everything out there. They're looking for you to help them. How do you practice empathy in helping them
well,
with setting up their business?
first thing we're going to always do is make sure we have a payment secured. So
Okay.
once you pay me, I'm a little bit, a little bit more lenient. But okay, for example, I did used to help people without them paying me, right? Like, you could jump in my DM and say, Jessica, I want to set up an LLC and I want to get business credit tomorrow. And I would go down this long rabbit hole of how to get you there. But what I realized is those people did not follow through. They're going to come back with 10,000 more questions. The person that pays me, and I say, all right, we got your payment. So you want to set up your business? This is what we're going to do. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They won't follow through because you gave me your money.
So that's what I was getting at. I look at empathetic in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Having people pay and invest in themselves. So you've already set the bar. You invest in yourself when your day begins.
Right.
You start your day with those affirmations. So you invested. So when people come to us, we have the tendency to give things away for quote unquote free. And we get free results.
Mm-hmm.
But we put in work to get the information that we're giving out for free. So one of the things I challenge people to do is, if it's your information, charge for it.
Exactly. And that was
Charge.
a hard lesson to learn.
It is. It's
Very hard.
that's why my director, I send people to her to pay for certain things because I'm still in that space. I still sometimes give things away for free,
Mm-hmm.
but it all depends on what it is. So some things I win in the beginning because I learned how to do something new. I still give it away for free, but I'm learning how to charge more and more for those things. So now you charge and you set that bar, and now they have those steps in there. They get their business set up.
Right.
How does it feel helping someone get to that point? Because that's a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how does it feel being that person to help someone see their dream come true?
It's It's like watching your baby like graduate, or watching like your flower bloom. Like I like plants and stuff like that. So when I get like a new little leaf, I'm like, oh, look at my little baby. Like I nourished this and it grew into something else. So that's what I feel like. I'm like, oh, look at my little baby crossing the stage. So, but I never rest in that because I'm always on to the next thing. It's like,
Uh-huh.
congratulations, okay, but we're at the bottom of a new mountain. So now what's next? Like that's just how my mind works. I'm always on to the what's next.
What's next? Okay. So I like that. So in your communication, another one of your boundaries is what's next. Let's not hang out right here. Let's go to what's next. So now that you have what's next? A customer, a client is in the chair. The thing about what you do, you save relationships. You create relationships. What I mean by that, a woman with her lashes, with a man looking at them, oh my gosh, they just do something to us. It makes us forget why I'm mad at you. You know, some bad nut of lashes and a nice little smile. I forgot what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how does it feel being that person
Oh my
that
gosh.
that creates that?
It's like, honestly, I feel like it's just my purpose. Like, that is what I was put here to do. I've seen women through divorces, new marriages, finding, like, talking to somebody that they're like, oh, I really even like him, to, girl, we getting married in 2 weeks. So, I mean, it's just like, I'm a, like the cheapest therapy that you'll ever get.
I like that. I like that. It's one of the things I learned is in the service industry, those are some of the best therapists who, quote unquote, haven't been to a school.
Hmm.
Because all it takes is a great listening ear and setting boundaries and using those in like relationships. So one more question, one more question. So we have the empathy going on.
Hmm.
We have the self-awareness. We have my favorite word, no.
Period. 'Cause you gotta add a
No,
period.
period.
Hmm.
So if there's one thing that you can tell the people who are watching and the ones who want to listen on the the ones who listen to the audio podcast, what are two things that you can offer them when it comes to setting boundaries in relationships?
Oh, the two things I can offer them is, number one, set your standard for the relationship you want. Just write it down. Like, for example, if you're looking for a man or a woman or whatever, describe that person to a T. It could be, hey, I want this person to be this tall. I want them to look like this. I want them to have those attributes, and really mean it. Like, everything that you want them to have, write it down. So, write down specifically what you want.
Okay.
And the second one is, be true to yourself. Like, love you and put you first. Like, that's always my thing. Be selfish. It's okay to be selfish. They told us not to be selfish, but be selfish.
I love it. I love it. It is great to hear my echo. It's like those are the things that I say to people. Be selfish. Put yourself first. You know, do that, and then you will see different type of results. It's literally almost the opposite of majority of everything that we've been told.
Hmm.
Okay, so y'all, we're getting ready to go to another quick break. We're going to go to this one, and in this one here, when we come back, we're going to begin to talk about all these projects that you're in.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so, you know, not all of them, just two of them. We're going to lead a bike to something special. But yes, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to jump right back into this. Y'all remember, this is the New Black Church where your story is your Bible. Welcome back to the New Black Church where your Bible is your story. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with my girl Jay, Jessica, lovely lashes. She's in the building, y'all. She just straight looking beautiful. I love it. She's glowing all over the camera. Yeah, we're talking about self-care in relationships, and she set the bar so high. She's already set the bar to where we're talking about putting yourself first, making it aware. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to tell people no. Something had to take place for you to get to this point, Jay. So now we want to talk about how do we practice self-compassion and self-forgiveness. So jumping right in, what are some of the ways that you practice self-forgiveness today, and then what brought that on to start forgiving yourself even more?
Oh, how do I practice forgiveness? Okay, so forgiving people is something new for me
Okay.
because I'm very much once you mess up with me one time, there ain't no coming back. Like you can't circle the block. Like I'm just done. I'm gonna leave you alone. But I want to say that my grandma passed away about, I think we're going into, it's almost 3 years. My grandma passed away. And my grandma, I'm telling y'all, like she was the closest thing next to the Lord's cloth. Like she was like, she'll forgive you. I feel like somebody could slap her and she would be like, you know what, it's okay, baby, because I'm just. And I used to get very upset, like Grandma, no, because you're not finna let them do. And she would always say, Jessica, it's okay, we just gonna pray about it. So after I lost my grandma, I kind of just like settled into this space where life is short, although she lived a very long life, a very long, fulfilling life. But I settled into like, okay, what is going to be my story when I'm gone? Like, what are people going to say about me when I'm no longer here? I don't want them to just be like, oh, she was just evil and she was so mean. Like, I want to have a compassionate spirit and a compassionate heart like my grandma. So my grandma passing away was the pivotal point where I was just like, I'm gonna meet people where they are and I'm gonna give you grace in your space. But I don't mean I gotta keep messing with you, but I'm gonna forgive you for me, if
Okay.
that makes sense. Like,
Oh, that makes a lot of sense because, um, man, your grandma was something else to allow somebody to smack her
now I ain't say
and be
nobody never
like, "Pray-"
smacked me out, but I said
but
maybe she
maybe.
probably would have been like,
Right.
okay.
But that's such a forgiving heart. Now, it's easy to forgive other people. What about you forgiving Jessica?
You know, so okay, y'all, my kids are older. I had my kids when I was super young, right? So oftentimes, I mean, I was real young. I had my daughter when I was 13, and I had my son when I was about 18. So I had two kids before I was really old enough to drink, right? So my kids literally kind of like grew up with me.
Mm,
So it's hard, like when your kids are coming back to you telling you life from their perspective, right? Because as a mom, you're like, oh, I'm doing all of this stuff, making sure they good, but they see it in a different light, right?
right.
So my kids coming back to me, telling me some things that were like, oh wow, like I didn't know that you felt that way, or you seen this, or whatever the case may be. So learning how to say, y'all, I was young. There ain't no handbook to be a parent. So I hope y'all can forgive me because I forgave myself. And that's what I told myself. Like, girl, you was young. You wasn't even old enough to drink yet. And you got two babies and you was somehow thugging it out, making it work. So you just got to forgive yourself and move on because they ain't died. They still here. Like, they good. So that's what it was.
Okay, so you just think you're gonna say that, and we just
And we
gonna
just going to
go
slide
right
over
on
that.
over
Yeah, we
that
just
one,
going
huh? So, entrepreneur,
to entrepreneur.
uh, give back to the community, and was a teen mom
Yes. 2 times.
2 times. Ooh,
Two
2 times.
times for the 2 times.
2 times
Yeah.
teen mom, and mature enough to know how to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Y'all, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what she said? Let me replay it back for you, just so you can hear it.
Okay.
You know, she said her kids come back and they say something to you, and you realize it. So I can see how your morning started, right, with your affirmations about who you are, and then your kids say something to you, and then the power of no, Jessica, you're not gonna say this to yourself. You're gonna forgive yourself first, and then realize that X, Y, and Z. Y'all, that's the blueprint right there for a lot of young mothers, right there. Even older mothers, is she just laid it out there for you, and you see how happy she is. So you see the results of forgiving yourself in situations. Self compassion is so important. We can have compassion for other people. We do that a lot. But when do we have self compassion? That's what I heard when you were sharing that story, was that compassion that you have for yourself. The question I have now is, with all that compassion, how does it feel you every day? Or how does it, or how did it feel you today? Either one.
Uh, I just always think about where I was.
Hmm.
You think about the things that you ask for, like when you're in a certain place. Like, I remember opening up my salon and saying, if I could just get 5 clients a day, that's 1 client a day, I'm going to be a happy camper. So when I got those 5 clients a day, I was like, oh, I got my little 5 clients. So then when it starts to become like too much, when I'm tired, I always say, because remember when you asked for this. So I
Hmm.
always go back to where I used to be and compare it to where I'm at now.
Okay. So that creates a healthier relationship with yourself. Y'all, we're getting into this. It is healthy relationships with yourself. That is what self care with relationships with. And that helps us build relationships with other people. So now that you're doing this, right? Now that you're practicing self compassion and self forgiveness, how are those two playing out in your relationships? Let's go with your personal relationships with friends. That's not your relationship with your husband, our relationship with the kids. With friends, how did that works play out there?
I mean, with my friends, like my friends know me, right? Like a lot of my friends have known me like just in high school. I've had even some friends from middle school. So they've watched me grow, but my friends are growing at the same rate that I'm growing. So
Hmm.
it's easy for us to water each other, if
Okay,
that
I
makes
like
sense.
that.
So my friends are able to be like, girl, that ain't, we're able to call each other out on our foolishness and
Okay.
not become a thing, right? Like I won't, I might feel a certain kind of way for a minute, like, first of all, get out my business. But then I'm gonna be like, no, that's my girl. Like, she knows where we started from. Does that make sense? So
Hmm.
I just feel like when it comes to my friends, we're growing together, and those who couldn't grow with us, they're not with us no more, and that's okay. No love lost, y'all, but that's just where we're at.
So that's good because that's where that compassion and forgiveness come in at
Mhm.
for ourselves. Is that look, you know, this is what's going on. I appreciate what you said. I didn't like it. But then sometimes we get into our quiet space and realize, dang, that did make sense
Mhm.
on what they was talking about. All right, cool. But I ain't gonna tell them that it was good. I'm just
Mhm.
gonna play it all out.
Just keep to
And then
myself.
they gonna realize that, yeah, they doing what I asked them to do.
Yeah.
Ain't that funny how we act like that?
Yeah, that is. Yeah. I'll tell you a few weeks later, like, girl, okay, I did what you said do, but we're
Hmm.
gonna just skip over that part. But yeah.
Yeah, I've even learned not to put it in writing. And then when I do say it, I say it in person because I don't want nobody to record the conversation and then play it back. Be like, yo, D said, nah, bro. If you don't have a copy of it,
It never happened.
it never happened.
Hmm.
So I like to hide that information because it's challenging taking care of self. I can say for me, um, I had events, but the biggest one was COVID. After COVID, I had to learn. I was like, whoa, I got to take care of myself.
Hmm.
And so like that. So COVID hit me, and it hit me pretty good, and I had to give some forgiveness and compassion for me. How did COVID hit you, and how did you learn forgiveness and compassion for
Ooh,
yourself?
COVID. It was like one of those pivotal times in my life, right? Because again, I'm in the service industry.
Hmm.
So just imagine waking up and your income is like, boom, we done. Like, it's like, what do I do? Like, I don't have any other ways to make money. That could have been my mindset, but that's not where I went. So COVID taught me how to pivot. How to
Okay.
pivot everything in my life. Like, I took my business. Yes, I did. I'm a lash artist. I'm also an educator, so I teach other professionals how to do lashes. We moved our trainings online. Oh, y'all want to learn how to do lashes? All right, come on, click on this link right here. We want to thug it out. I'm gonna teach you online. I had people who were not in the beauty industry, but they were thinking about like transitioning, doing something else. They took my lash classes online. There were also videos. It's funny because this is like the COVID memories are popping up now. I was making magnetic lash strips, making videos online how to put them on. So I started selling lash strips to keep my money going. Then I started working out, like really working out. That's where Peloton came in, and I was like, okay, like, come on, you have to get, because when I before this, I didn't have a routine. Like, I didn't have a workout routine. It was just get up, go to work, go home, eat, whatever. So COVID sat me down, and I had to think about some things. So that's what it did for me. It made me pivot and be like, let's go.
Okay. So you said, let's go. You jumped on that bike and
It took off.
took out. Yeah, yeah, you did take. I think that was the first time a Peloton bike went miles without standing still. So, so okay, but let's talk about that piece because that bike really changed your life, didn't it?
It did. It definitely changed my life. Like 100%. It
Okay.
changed my life. Like before, I've been working out for a long time. Like getting started, I would stop, lose a little bit of weight, and I would stop. Like relationship, whatever. I was always up and down. So that's why it's like so crazy to post memories from 8 or 9 years ago, and I see that girl. I'm like, I know her. Like I see the struggles that she had, but something in COVID just was like, I don't know if it was like trying to trick my brain because I always felt like somebody gonna cough and I'm gonna die. Like I don't know what it was, but I just had to find something to be
Hmm.
my outlet to let me out, and that's what the bike did for me. It was like my little
Okay.
outlet to be free, and get a taste of the world.
So on that bike, I see a very, very happy woman. I gotta be honest. When I went out to your website, when I've been doing my research, to understand who I'm having a conversation with today, I kept coming across these pictures that didn't look like a happy woman. And so I look at you now, and your joy and your happiness is so amazing. Um, what are some of those things that you forgave yourself for?
I forgave myself for a lot of it was settling, like just saying, okay, well, I feel like I deserve more, but I'm just going to take this because this is just what's in front of me right now. Like that's settling in relationships, settling in business, not really like pushing, saying, oh, well, I deserve. No, I would just settle. And I was just like, again, during COVID, I'm like, I'm not settling for nothing because tomorrow is legit, not promised. Like, I could literally, somebody could cough on me at Walmart and I can be out of here.
Hmm.
So, no, like, I'm not going to settle anymore. That's like the biggest thing. It was settling. That's what it was.
Okay. So y'all, we ain't gonna settle no more. We finna get right into these two projects that she got going on. Watch this quick video. It gives you a little snippet. Then we gonna jump right into this conversation. Y'all, check this out right here real quick. Welcome back to the New Black Church where your Bible is your story. Y'all, did y'all see those two projects that she's working on? I was so blessed to go through the website and capture all that great information. Now it makes more sense where the love comes from, where the giving heart comes from, because you shared your story, right? Now you've allowed us to see chapters and books within your Bible. And now let's talk about the business last. I want to talk about what you was giving back to these young ladies and this confidence. And it makes all the sense in the world, like all this confidence that you've been having over all these years, you know, and to get to where you are right now. And so, yeah, I'm gonna let you talk. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where you get a chance to, because I'm like, you sent me information on these babies, and there's some beautiful pictures, beautiful words that are on. Y'all go check out her website, the Future Beauty Boss Camp, because the mission statement alone, she represents it well and lived it well. Most mission statements something that somebody just made up or somebody else bought it. Your mission statement, you lived it. So let's talk about that. Let's jump into the Future Beauty Boss Camp.
Oh, that's my baby. Okay. So let's talk about how camp got started,
Okay,
right?
yeah, let's
One
talk
day
about how camp got
I
started.
was I was sitting down and I was like, I wish there was a summer camp for girls like me. When I was young, I was always creative. I always into like fashion. I don't know. I'm about to age myself, but I don't know. The show Blossom back in the day, the girl had the little floppy. I loved Blossom. I loved everything quirky about her. Punky Brewster, all of those things. So I love these people. So, but there was never a camp geared towards that when I was younger. Like I did tennis camp. We did swim. Nobody want to do that. Okay, so I was like, I'm going to create a camp for girls who want to be in the beauty industry. If they want to learn how to do hair, if they want to learn how to do makeup, lashes, whatever, I want to do that. So one day, I made a flyer. I had no plan. I just made a flyer, put it on Eventbrite, posted it on Facebook, and boom, people started buying tickets. And I said, wait a minute. All right, yeah. So I got this kid. Like, what am I going to do? So I created a curriculum right then and there. I thought about all of the things that women come to me to ask me for. Like, yeah, you're a hairstylist, but you don't know how to pay yourself. You're not making any money. You don't know how to create your business. You don't have an LLC. You don't have a business bank account. You don't know how to create a budget. So I said, okay, I'm going to take that information and I'm going to teach young girls. Because if somebody taught me that when I was 12, 13, 14, when I get 18, 19, 20, and I'm out in the world, I'm going to always have that in the back of my mind. We're going to talk about credit, business credit, personal credit, because just because she's 12, it don't mean that she's not listening. I do things with the girls, like go home and ask your parents what their budget is. Ask them how they do, and they come back, and they really go home and ask their parents about their budget. Now, some of their parents don't have a budget, or they're like, why are you in my business? But whatever the case may be, it's sparking those conversations. So that's how camp got created. It was just literally thinking about young Jessica and what I wish I could have done. Because even growing up, saying I used to say I wanted to be a hairstylist. I'm from Pittsburgh. I said I want to be a hairstylist, and I wanted to be a jitney driver. If y'all don't know what a jitney driver is, it's like a bootleg Uber. Shout out to everybody in Pittsburgh. Y'all know what a jitney is.
Oh, it's a dollar cab.
Yeah, kind of like a dollar cab. Yeah, but it don't be no dollar. But it is a bunch of old men, and it's number. You call the number, and they come and pick you up. So that's what I used to say I want to be. I want to be a jitney driver and a hairstylist. And then they're like, hairstylists don't make no money. But going into the hair salon, I always got fed when I went in there. They were either going to, how was your day? You look pretty today. You look so beautiful. Don't let no little boys play in your face. Like, those are the conversations I remember and the lessons that I got from my hairstylist growing up. So that's how camp came about. I wanted to pour that same energy into girls who are interested in being in the beauty industry. And that, when I say beauty industry, I don't mean just doing hair, nails, lashes. What about learning how to be a seamstress? What about learning how to be a chef, because you can do craft services at fashion shows? What about learning how to be a photographer? There's so many other elements of the beauty industry that we don't talk about, and they learn about all of that at camp.
I'm over here just mind blown. Okay, so camp is during the summertime, right?
Yeah, camp is during the summertime. We keep a maximum of 10 girls for 1 week. They come from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I keep y'all kids all day, okay? And I feed them. And we work on positive affirmations, but then they learn whatever that trade is for today. And the best thing about it is they get to keep whatever it is they learn. So if they learn how to sew, they get a sewing machine. If they learn how to do lashes, they get a makeup kit. Not a little rinky-dink Walgreens makeup kit. We talking about real for real brushes, makeup, lashes, everything that they need. So when you're not with me, I want you to keep practicing. Keep pouring into yourself, because you can't just do something one time and then think that you got it. You got to keep practicing. So that's one of the biggest things about camp that I love, is to give them all the stuff they need to be successful.
So those are all the tangible things that they walk away with. What are the untangibles that they walk away with? Because I've read it in the words on your website, but let's hear you talk about, because I know these girls come in one way and they have this energy, they want to learn, they want to grow. I called it, like after I researched everything, I called it a self-confidence camp.
It is. Yeah.
It is a self-confidence, because it's okay for you to like makeup, to like what you want. And then you're assisting the girls in becoming those women that help other women, like those women help you in the salon.
Right.
When you was younger, you're showing them how to be an even better giver. So what are some of those, like, have you had any stories where a young lady came in and now she's came back to you years later saying how much she appreciates you?
Oh, for sure. I have girls. So y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. Having a nonprofit, I felt like people were gonna just be dumping their money on me. Like, money was just gonna come raining in. That is not what happens. Okay, not at all. So last year, I was at a point where I was like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. Like, I'm using my own resources, and I'm closing, because I closed on my salon to run camp. So I'm not making any money when my salon is closed. So I had this little sweet girl, and she reached out to me. She sent me this email. It was, "Dear Miss Jess, I love you so much. thank you. I learned so much in camp. I can't wait to come back. You are the absolute best. And I was like, all right, y'all. So we got to figure this out. We got to run this back again because this baby just, she literally went on my website and it was like the contact us form. And that's how she reached out to me. But that was like that little nugget that I needed to say, hey, girl, don't you stop because you are touching them in other ways than what you really know. So I keep on showing up and keep on just thugging it out. That's what we do.
But that's beautiful, and I love your phrase, thugging it out,
Thugging it out.
because I mean we got to get grimy with it. We got to go get it because um, somebody helped us go get it,
Right.
and it's amazing to give back. Now, I got to say that I love this part of it because you give so much to yourself. Now you're giving back to other people. How did the lovely lashes? So you talked about the lady who gave you the name. That's awesome. But how did the lovely lashes start? Because let me tell you, that enhancement on a woman, there are some instances where it's kind of like, okay, you really went there, and then there are some where it's like, okay, you can wear those to work. So how did lovely lashes begin?
Well, how did it start? Okay, so it all started really when I was in Dothan. I used to live in Dothan, Alabama. Shout out to Dothan. And I was, if anybody's ever been to Dothan, it's a very, I don't like to call it country, but it is country. Like, I mean, I'm a city girl, right? I'm from the city, so I was always just doing extra stuff. So I would take lashes and I would take like strip lashes and I would take feathers and I would cut them off and put them on my eye. Like just doing the absolute freaking most. But people started being like, who do your lashes? Who do you lashes? And I was like, I do my own lashes. So I started taking clients, doing lashes in my kitchen. Shout out to everybody who came and get their lashes in the Oak Chase. But that's how it started. I started just doing lashes in my kitchen, like $10. I can't believe I charged $10. Oh my God, $10. I think it was maybe $15 would be the most. I was working at a call center. I would go after call work. If you ever worked at a call center, you know that's when you put your phone after call work. You're supposed to be doing something. I would be doing people lashes. I would hold on, y'all. I would put myself in after call work and go do people's lashes. And people started saying like, "You got the talent. Like you could get paid for this." But in my mind, I'm just like, this is just something I'll be playing because YouTube was kind of starting to be a thing. This was like, I don't know, this is 2009, like when YouTube was really kind of getting started. So I thought I was just going to be a little YouTube person out here putting lashes on. I am so glad them videos are archived, so y'all cannot find them. Don't try to go find me on YouTube. But I did used to do like YouTube videos with makeup and lashes. And then I just went from there. I started researching like, okay, well, how can I make this a career? And that's when I learned what an esthetician was. And I ended up moving back to Florida, and then that's when I went to school to further my career so I can get my license. So yeah.
Okay. Um, I'm listening to you, and I'm watching how animated you are. It makes all the sense in the world. I'm going to age myself too. It's a little bit of Blossom and a whole lot of Punky Brewster.
Yes, that's my girl. Them socks come
It
on
is
now.
a whole lot. And this is what I love about what you just said. Y'all, pay attention. She loved what she was doing. She liked being extra. And I love when people say, "Oh, you're being too extra." Oh, I like that because I'm doing something that I'm loving to do. That extra went from who is doing that for you? Or I'm doing that myself. Oh, can you do that for me? It went from that to hidden YouTube videos that's in the archive. Excuse me, y'all. To
Never
now
coming out.
owning a business and owning a nonprofit. Y'all, that's a lot. Let me take all that in. We're finna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come right back and we're gonna talk about one of the words that y'all love, toxic. So we're gonna get a chance to talk about toxic relationships and how to stay out of those when you're doing relationships. Y'all, welcome to the New Black Church, where your Bible is your story. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the New Black Church, where your Bible is your story. Y'all in the building, my girl Jessica, lovely lashes, straight representing Punky Bruce and Blossom. If y'all don't know who that is,
Google
go
it.
look them up on Google. Go look them up on Bing. Y'all know I got to promote Bing. Y'all know who I work for, so I can't be promoting at other companies. So, but all this has been great. I promise you, all this has been great, and it's great relationship, and it's great building, and it's great self-care. There's still an element of life that we still have to deal with. And what that element is, there are some individuals out here that toxic, right? That's just a word. That's just a thing. It is what it is. So how are you navigating through these toxic people? Because, in New Black Tampa, ooh, I ain't saying no names, but yeah, we got some of them up in there. So how do you navigate throughout life with the toxic people?
I mean, I feel like you attract your tribe, right?
Mm.
So if I'm not a toxic person, you're not going to want to be around me. You're going to figure out some reason either not to like me or whatever the case may be. So I can honestly say that I don't encounter a lot of toxic people. Like even in my salon, like I don't get like irate customers, and that's not what I attract. Because I honestly believe you attract your tribe. So I don't attract toxic people to me.
See, no said. I knew this was gonna be a short session right here. I knew it was gonna be super short because you have too much joy. You have way too much happiness. Not, I apologize. I apologize. Not too much. You have so much that is overflowing. Right? I'm trying to mature my words from these old school words that my mom and them taught me too much. How can you have too much happiness? No, this overflowing. This overflow. When I tell you, I see Punky Brewster and Blossom all
How
over
you
you
not
right
ever
now.
gonna be
I
able to
cannot.
unsee
I
it?
cannot unsee it because those are my two childhood heroes, also. But I knew this was gonna be a short segment because I don't see you are so true. I don't attract a lot of toxic people either. They run from me. They do not want to deal with me because they already know you're you're going to be happified or Duranized is what people say.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, they tickle me to death. So jumping in, we got about 8 minutes left here.
Hmm.
Um, with all this great information that you share with us, how can a person build and maintain healthy and full and fulfilling relationships through self care practices?
Well, again, because it's self care, so they have to take care of their self first.
Hmm.
If you're not handling yourself, you can't be out here frolicking with other people. Because if you're not right, you're not going to attract the right person. You're not going to attract the right team, the right friends. Like because you're going to feed off of what you got going on. So you got to take care of yourself. Go to counseling, people. That's really the main thing. Like go to counseling. I went to counseling, and at first I was like, oh, I don't want to tell this lady my business. But you got to find a counselor that understands you, like they understand your background, your culture. So once I did that and she started calling me out on my BS, I was like, oh, okay, let me go fix it. I hear you, girl. So go to counseling so you can take care of yourself.
Yes, I love what you said. She called you out on your BS, and then you're like, I gotta fix this T-shirt, y'all, cause my director be on me about my T-shirt. My T-shirt fit funny because of her, y'all. Y'all know what happened when a man is happy at the house, his clothes get tight, and so my T-shirt just won't go over that lump right there. So I gotta keep pulling at it. But they ain't about this. So I forgot what I was talking about, y'all. Oh, I can't stand that ADHD to the third power. Whoop, I got it written down right here. So what I love about what you said is that the counselor said something to you. Then you was like, ooh, all right, cool, I'll go fix it. The arguing, it extends the time frame of your self-care. Go ahead and do what people go ask you to go do. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're paid for it.
Yeah.
Just go do it. Okay? So counseling is one of the things. What's another thing that you can offer people?
You got to find something for you. You know, we often as women, we say our kids, our husband. Your kids are going to leave one day. Like they're going to get grown. They're going to have their own families. So you can't, interject in that. You can get married, have a spouse. But what if they leave one day? God forbid, if they pass away or if they just tired of you and they leave you. Like, you have to have your own thing. So always have your own thing going on. Whatever that thing is, just have your own thing.
Okay. So, oh, y'all, she said take care of yourself. Have your own thing. She also said the power of no. and she
Period. You
don't
gotta
curl.
you gotta add a period.
And you got to add that period at the end of that no. So you gave us all of that. One last thing. Thinking about self-care and relationships. What is the one thing that you want people to walk away with today?
The biggest thing is affirming yourself. Stop waiting for everybody else to clap for you. Clap for yourself. Even if you're not where you want to be, clap for yourself because you're going to be there one day anyway. So just affirm yourself. That's the
Okay.
main thing.
Jay, I so appreciate that. You came through the building. My poor neighbor downstairs, I know they just can't handle all this excitement that is going on up here. I just know he gonna hit me up because Jay, you have tore down this apartment with your smile, with your words, everything that you got going on. And self-care in relationships are so important. It's really important in that one-to-one relationship with yourself. And I love the way that not only did you talk about it, but you are about it. And I appreciate so much from the bottom of my heart that you came and shared that with us. Some young woman or some young man or some young mother or some young parent is going to see that there is hope at the end of this, right? There is hope on the other side of this. Don't let somebody else count you out when you've already been counted in.
That's right.
And so I just want to thank you so much for doing that on today. Y'all, we had an amazing guest. We thank you so much for coming to hang out with us at the New Black Church because we all believe in the same thing, that your story is your Bible. And let me tell you, you have such a beautiful story. I love what you share with us. Y'all go check Jay out on IG. I think we got the right one up. Y'all check out the websites. Y'all check out Lovely Lashes. Y'all check her out. She's an awesome, awesome, awesome person. All of her projects that she's working on. And check out the Future Boss Camp. Y'all know how we do it. We hang out on TikTok every Monday for Men Monday from 8 p.m. Eastern to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And every Women on Women Wednesday. Right, we're not doing Thursdays right now because we're working on our project. Y'all, we have the TikTok Positivity Project coming up in December. Y'all, we looking at 3 shows, 2 hours each, 4.5 million people. We gonna make it make sense. I promise you, we gonna break it down. I'm putting everything together in the background to make this work through automation and AI. So we ain't gotta work that hard. So Jay, once again, we want to thank you. Thank you so much for coming in. We had an amazing show. Thank you everyone who watched and shared. Let me tell y'all, I really appreciate the ones that don't have time to watch today, but they would go back throughout the week and watch it. I am learning how people function in this world today, and I love you all. Like, subscribe, share, because these are amazing stories from amazing people from their amazing Bible. Once again, thank y'all so much from the New Black Church for sharing your story, because your Bible is as beautiful as you. Peace out. Thank y'all so much.
That was so much fun.